Welcome to the Jameela Adams Experience Podcast. It's a place and a space for women over 40 to be inspired, encouraged, and heard. Your host, Jameela Adams, will talk about how life be lifing and how to find joy when overcoming challenges. You're invited to join the experience. Hey everyone, this is Jameela Adams, and thank you so much for listening to the pod this week. I am so excited. I brought you a new guest, and I definitely want you guys to just immerse yourself with this because this is someone you will love to follow and to catch up with their outside of the pod, obviously. And what I also want you to do is just listen to the story and listen to what she's going to talk about and describe what's going on in her life as well as what's in her novel. I am going to be introducing you to Anessa Sewell Kent, and she's the author novelist of The Bitter and the Sweet. I just want you guys to know that she's amazing. I love the storytelling in her novel, and she just brings everything to life. So with that being said, Anessa, take it away.
Thank you, Jameela. I'm glad to be here. The Bitter and the Sweet was a 30-something-year-old dream. Not necessarily the book title, but becoming a published author. Wanted to do this since I was a college student. I'm now 56, and the book released last May. It took years and years of trying to figure out what I would write about, how I would do it, could I do it, what would I do with it after I did it, how would I get it out there to the world. It's a big project, but personal circumstances of mine, when I was, 54-ish, threw me into a time in my life where I needed some direction. I needed something to take my mind off of my situation. And so I had one phone call with a former real estate agent friend of mine about a piece of property that was for sale south of where I currently live, which is Dothan, Alabama. And she told me what the property had been. And she said, "You're not going to believe this, but it used to be a barbecue restaurant / strip club." Wow. And I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We're in the middle of peanut fields and cow pastures. And on that side of town, in the state of Alabama, in the Bible Belt, we have a barbecue restaurant and a strip club. I can't figure out how anybody thought that was a really good business model, and how they thought that would be successful. I mean, I guess you get hungry when you're watching strippers, but there's not any men in there. You right. know that the women aren't eating the barbecue. Okay. Right. That's scandalous. And you know that they would never have their car seen in that parking lot, even if they were dying for a pork sandwich. Right. So anyway, that started this whole book, which is crazy, but that little part of the story is not even in the book until the sequel. Right. I didn't even get to the barbecue restaurant strip club. But I developed this whole little community just of people showed up, and my main protagonist, Bernadine Dawn Turnipseed, originally was supposed to be the bossy church lady. Right. That nobody liked. That she was the largest tither in the church, maybe even the fellowship hall is called the Turnipseed Fellowship Hall. I mean, she ran that church. Right. Well, when I started thinking about Bernadine, she started talking to me in a way that characters start revealing themselves. And she turned from the main church lady that was like 55 to 60 into this 17-year-old girl. Right. Who was a misfit and not popular, right. Still bossy and still okay to rub against the grain, but she was asked to join the boys' high school basketball team at Beaufort County High School in 1943 for the center position.
Yeah.
And they rose to a level of fame. She played basketball her junior year and senior year of high school. She graduated high school, and all of a sudden she disappears from town. This girl, Bernadine, has achieved local, state, and national fame as the queen of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
She's known everywhere. And then all of a sudden she's gone, and everybody's going, what happened to Bernadine? Where is she?
Right.
So the rumors fly.
Mm-hmm.
The rumors persist for 15 years until she returns home.
Right.
A completely different person.
Mm-hmm.
The gangly, unattractive girl is now beautiful and refined, well-mannered, a career woman, independent, pulling into town in 1961 in Spitz Creek, Alabama, in a black convertible Lincoln Continental.
Wow.
And everybody thinks that she's the governor's wife.
Right.
They want her autograph.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, well, I mean, it's Bernadine. Well, the town blows up. You know, they blew up when she got on the basketball team. Right. She comes back to town. Nobody can believe who she looks and who she is now and what she's become. And she brings along with her some information to town,
right,
which shakes everything up again.
Yeah.
In the middle of the story, it starts with the disappearance of Luana Parsons, right, the beauty queen, in 1961.
Yeah.
And she's a senior in high school. There's a prominent man involved. The town is besotted with grief and fear. Mm-hmm. And then the Luana story picks back up towards the end of the book. Right. This book was so much fun to write. I can't tell you how often I laughed with tears streaming down my face from hilarity to tears streaming down my face from just being touched.
Right, right.
I've been asked, who is Bernadine? Is Bernadine you? Mm-hmm. Well, Bernadine is part of me. I am a part of Bernadine, and Bernadine is a part of me. Right. So yes, she helped me in huge ways, kind of work out my sadness. She had to deal with rejection and loneliness, sadness and heartbreak all at the same time that I was dealing with this in my personal life. I'm a mother. Mm-hmm. I have a 17-year-old daughter now. My daughter watched her mama walk through this process of typing on my computer and crying at my computer or laughing at my computer to the finished product. Yes. And so I'm in the middle of the sequel. Now, I will tell you, I'm not having the opportunity to write much because I had to get a regular job.
Right.
And so I'm a little way late on that, but love, redemption, there's a lot of prayer in here. There's a lot of Jesus in here. It's just funny to watch the human condition as we roll through life with all of our imperfections. Yes. Quickly judged by others. Mm-hmm. But knowing that we hopefully, we have a strong family unit. Yes. Hopefully we have Jesus. Yes. Yes. To get us through all of these things. Absolutely. And so it was a medicine. This book was a medicine for me. And I really hope people can feel the sentiment that it was written with.
Yeah, I do too. Because like when I was listening to it, I do audiobooks sometimes. So I just can feel the passion and the words coming out and how you are a great storyteller.
Oh, so thank you.
And I'm so glad that you became an author. So with everything that's happening, that's what pushed you through to becoming an author, which is great. Because it's one thing about writing, because I was part of a anthology. I believe we talked about that before. And you just let yourself peel yourself back like an onion, and you have to lay things out. For me, I talked about my growing up and being a survivor of child sexual abuse. And that really just let me talk about what had happened and not feel ashamed about it.
Yes.
And it was very cathartic. So it helped me to regroup and regain the person or the little girl that I lost. And that's one of the reasons why I'm talking with people about what's going to make you better in 2024. Better me, better you. What is going to make you better? It's like you reclaiming something that was lost and building upon it. So that's the great thing about putting our stories out. I mean, your character definitely, I'm looking forward to seeing the end or listening to the end of it. So don't tell me about it.
Yes. Oh, I'm not going to tell you. I promise I will tell you. You know, the making the better of ourselves. I think for me and for most women, we plug ourselves into job descriptions.
Yeah.
Wife, mother, professional, widow,
right?
Whatever the world calls you, you become.
Right. Yes.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. And I think when you finally sit yourself down in that role, whatever that role is, and instead of us thinking, well, how can I be the best me in this role? We tend to take on what other people say we should do in those roles.
Yes.
Instead of bringing our own uniqueness and our mistakes into these roles. I can't tell you how many times I have to apologize to my daughter.
Yes.
And I've had to tell her so many times, baby, you know I love you more than life itself.
Yes.
But your mother has had to raise you in the middle of pain, heartbreak.
Yes.
And I've done the best that I knew how to do at the time. So please forgive me for my shortcomings. I pray all the time, Lord, please cover my mistakes.
Yes.
So that I don't ruin, mess anything up for her.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I don't want my mistakes to be her mistakes. We don't.
Oh, yeah. And it's interesting you say that, because I've said that to my boys. My oldest he just turned 33. And I said, make your own mistakes. Don't make mine.
Yeah.
I'm allowing you to be you. I'm not going to project, because I know what it's like to have things projected onto me, So I try to not do that with them. And of course I mess up and I will go back and apologize. In fact, I was talking with my youngest. We were going, because I had eye appointment and I couldn't drive. And so I just said to him, I said, I'm sorry if I said or did anything to you that caused you to feel a certain way about yourself or about me or whatever. And he goes, Mom, whatever happened, happened. And he was very forgiving. He was just kind of matter of fact. He goes, whatever happened, if there were long-term effects, I'm dealing with them. I said, but the thing is, you shouldn't have to deal with it. If I did something to you, he goes, Mom, whatever happened, I'm glad you're making strides to do better for yourself.
Yeah.
And I see that you're trying. And I think as long as they see us trying, to improve on ourselves, to get to break a generational curse or whatever it is, whatever hangups we have. At least if our kids see us trying, then it makes them say, okay, well, if they're working on themselves, that gives me a reason to forgive and to say, hey, we all fall short. It's up to us to show grace to others and ourselves. I think a lot of us forget to give ourselves grace.
Oh, girl. I mean, I have had to spend the last probably 3 years forcing myself to rest, physically rest.
Yes.
To emotionally rest, to separate. I'm separated from the angst and the anxiety. So we have to give ourselves that permission to rest, to heal, to relax, to renew,
Yes.
And rebuild ourselves into something, because I'm in my middle 50s now. And each decade is different in what it brings. But this decade to me has been my most favorite so far because, yes, because I am learning more about me in this decade than I think I've known and probably the whole time.
Okay, so it's not just me. I think turning 50 for me was a complete eye-opener. It taught me that my 40s were great. You know, I've went through so many challenges. The best part, obviously, was seeing my kids develop and grow and getting married and everything. But for me, turning 50 was like, wow. Everything else is just like an eye-opener. It's almost like a rebirth, you know? It's just
totally.
I feel so much confidence now that I thought that my 30s was definitely fake bravado. My teens and 20s, and that was just fake confidence. But now I think my 40s taught me to develop the skills and the emotional intelligence to have that confidence. And then, of course, my falling back on my faith, and especially some troubling times.
Yes.
And now my 50s, I'm like, I'm loving it. This is great.
Oh yeah, me too. I tell you, if I could make a deal, if I could look like I did in my 30s and know what I know now,
right,
girl, I would be running down the road naked, yelling, doing what I mean with full confidence.
That's why we can't do that.
Nobody wants to see that. Nobody would want to see that, but maybe I could do it at night.
Exactly. But the whole thing is this guy knew what he was doing. That's the whole thing.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it's probably not the best thing to do, but it would be fun.
It would be fun. If I know what I know now, back then, there would have been, I can't say that I would want to change it, because obviously everything I went through got me to this point, and I'm so appreciative of getting to this point that I don't think I would change anything. I would just look back on it like, that could have been done differently. But I wouldn't change it, because I think I would have missed out on a lot of things had I can go back and wave my fingers. Okay, change that, delete, edit. But no, I think where we are right now is such a great space and a great time, even with everything that, you know, the chaos around us. But we have a greater sense of self at this time.
Yes,
you know,
we do.
And
I love it.
And a greater sense of purpose.
Yes. Yeah, I think once you can get to this age, you're finally, you know, your kids are grown or growing or almost out of the house. So now you have a minute to consider, just to consider, okay, what can I do now that I really enjoy, or something that I have put off for years and years and years. Right. So this is the time when this stuff starts shining through, and you're like, you feel like it's recess in the middle of the school day. Right. You're just like, yeah, I get to go do X. Oh yeah.
I love it. I love it. This part is the greatest part. So I just want to feel that way and have others feel that way. If I can just, like the last time I was talking about, when I was 6 years old, I learned how to skate. And if I can just bottle that feeling of determination, of pure joy, and just sell it, and so that people can feel that way right now, that'll be the ultimate. But that right now, it's our time to focus on healing, to doing better, to getting better, to doing the things that we love, even in the challenges and the setbacks. But at least we can overlook it and get to the next step. So with that being said, how can we reach you?
How can you reach me?
Yes.
Okay. I have a Facebook author page, Anessa Sewell Kent, author. You can message me on that. I'm trying to post. I haven't been real good with posting, because when I tell you that I started a new job in September and I'm using parts of my brain that I haven't used in probably 30 years.
Right.
So I've been quite overwhelmed with brain overusage.
Right.
And time. But yeah, my Facebook page, you can reach out to me through that.
Okay. And where
I'd love to hear.
Yeah. And where can we purchase your book as well?
The book is available online, Amazon, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, Target. I mean, there's Verna Dean's little story is on online booksellers that I've never even heard of.
Right.
She's all over the place. She's even overseas, which cracks me up. There's like some Turkish looking language, or I mean, it's just it's interesting. And then Kindle. Mm-hmm. You can buy the Kindle version, and then you can go on Audible and get the audio book. Okay, great. Awesome. Yeah. So with any closing words or sentiments you would like to say to the audience? Because you've been amazing. I will definitely, I need for you to come back because I need for us to discuss the sequel. The sequel, Shifting Gears. Yeah. I will tell you that Birdie in book 1 is an adult in book 2. And Birdie is really me. Birdie lays it out on the line, honey. Okay. And I love her. Birdithia Lee Snodgrass. Okay. Yes. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my experiences. You can look back and say you're grateful for your pain. Mm-hmm. You're grateful for your struggles, because then out of that is refinement. Right. And I use butterflies a lot in my book. Okay. And butterflies to me are beautiful, but they have to work their way out of a cocoon. Mm-hmm. And then they can fly. And so, just learning about yourself, believing in yourself, giving yourself forgiveness. Yes. And mercy. And it's okay to fall down, mm-hmm. but don't stay down. Right. Yeah. It's the one saying I heard is one thing to be in it, but don't stay in it or lay in it. You have to get up. You do. You have to get up. Now I will wallow, girl, in it. I will wallow in it for about a week. It's almost like a prescription. When I get hit with something, it's like the clock starts ticking, and for 7 days, I'm the most pitiful thing imaginable. But then it's like on that 8th day, bam, mm-hmm. I'm ready to go. Yeah, because everybody needs that time to assess. They do. Look at the damages or whatever it is. Lick the wounds, and then call all the girlfriends and tell them, listen to this. You know what? Yes. We all been there. Yeah. We've all been there. Yes, we have. It's been fun. Thank you for having me on your podcast. Thank you. I'm honored, because I definitely like I said, I need for you to come back. So when you're finished and doing what you got to do, because I know life be lifing, I definitely I need for us to follow up and continue on with this conversation, because this has been real. And I just want everyone out there to know you can struggle, but you don't have to stay in it. Find something to get you going through it, or someone. My whole thing is there's help out there. We just have to be able to allow ourselves to do the work to get help. So that being said, I am so thankful for you to be on the show, Anessa, and I definitely want you to come back. So usually when I close out the show, I always say this. I want you to be inspired. I want you to be inspiring. I want you to be encouraged. I want you to be encouraging. But most of all, I want you to be you. And I definitely would like to see you sometime soon. So everyone, I will chat with you next week. Anessa, I'll see you soon. Okay, Jameela, thank you. You're welcome.